Look around you. The brightest colors you've ever seen are not in nature. They're in your pocket. Every day, billions of people spend hours immersed in screens, engineered to be more vivid, more dynamic, and more attention-grabbing than the physical world around them. And while this technological revolution has transformed entertainment and communication, it may also be changing something else: our relationship with attention, our tolerance for boredom, and our ability to find satisfaction in ordinary life. Welcome to the concept of visual fasting, the deliberate reduction of high-intensity visual stimulation to help restore mental clarity, focus, and appreciation for the world beyond the screen. The new sensory arms race. In 2026, display technology has become astonishing. Ultra-high resolutions, AI-enhanced color optimization, HDR brightness levels that make images appear almost hyper-real, motion smoothing that creates incredibly fluid visual experiences. Every year, screens become more immersive, more engaging, more difficult to ignore. Technology companies compete for one thing: your attention. And the most effective way to capture attention is often through increasingly stimulating visual experiences. The result is a sensory environment unlike anything humans evolved to encounter. For most of history, our brains interacted with forests, rivers, faces, books, and physical spaces. Today, many people spend more waking hours looking at digital displays than observing the natural world. When reality starts feeling less interesting, have you ever noticed how difficult it can feel to sit quietly after scrolling through social media? Or how reading a book sometimes seems harder than watching short-form videos? This isn't because books became worse. It's because your brain adapts to whatever environment it experiences most often. The human brain is remarkably efficient. When repeatedly exposed to highly stimulating content, it begins to expect that level of stimulation. Fast cuts, bright colors, constant novelty, infinite streams of information. Over time, slower activities can feel less engaging by comparison. Not because they're less valuable, because they're competing against an entirely different level of sensory intensity. Understanding dopamine. Many people misunderstand dopamine. It's often called the pleasure chemical, but dopamine is more accurately involved in motivation, anticipation, learning, and reward-seeking behavior. Your brain constantly evaluates what deserves attention. Novel experiences tend to receive priority, and modern digital platforms are exceptionally good at delivering novelty. Every swipe, every refresh, every recommendation, every new piece of content. Your brain never knows what might appear next. This unpredictability keeps attention engaged and encourages continued consumption. The challenge isn't dopamine itself. The challenge is living in an environment where novelty is available every second of every day. The cost of constant visual consumption. When our attention becomes accustomed to rapid stimulation, several things can happen. Long-form focus becomes more difficult. Patience decreases. Quiet moments feel uncomfortable. Mind-wandering becomes harder to tolerate. And activities that once felt rewarding may require more effort to enjoy. This doesn't mean screens are harmful by default. Technology has created extraordinary opportunities for learning, creativity, and connection. The issue is imbalance. Just as a diet composed entirely of junk food would affect physical health, a steady diet of hyper-stimulating media can affect our attention habits. Visual junk food. Think of modern digital content as visual junk food. Not because it's inherently bad, but because it is often optimized for immediate consumption rather than long-term nourishment. Highly processed foods are engineered to maximize flavor. Digital content is often engineered to maximize engagement. Both exploit systems that evolved for entirely different environments, and both become problematic when consumed without limits. The goal isn't elimination. The goal is intentionality. What is visual fasting? Visual fasting is the practice of temporarily reducing unnecessary high-intensity visual stimulation. It's not anti-technology. It's not digital abstinence. It's a conscious reset, a chance to expose your mind to lower stimulation environments and allow your attention to recalibrate. This might include walking without your phone, watching a sunset without taking a picture, reading a physical book, spending time in nature, leaving screens off during certain parts of the day, creating periods where your brain isn't constantly being fed new visual input. The surprising benefits. Something interesting happens when you reduce stimulation. At first, boredom appears. Many people find this uncomfortable, but boredom often serves an important purpose. It creates space. Space for reflection. Space for creativity. Space for deeper thinking. Without constant external input, your mind begins generating its own ideas again. You notice details. You become more present. And many people report feeling calmer, clearer, and more focused after even brief periods of reduced digital stimulation. A practical visual fast. You don't need to disappear into the wilderness for a month. Start with 1 hour. 1 hour each day without unnecessary visual media. No scrolling, no videos, no endless feeds. Just observation, conversation, reading, walking, thinking. Allow your brain to experience stillness. Not because technology is the enemy, but because your attention deserves recovery. The modern world offers more visual stimulation than any generation in human history has ever experienced. And while these tools can enrich our lives, they can also overwhelm our attention if left unchecked. Visual fasting is not about rejecting technology. It's about restoring balance. It's about remembering that not every moment needs entertainment. Not every silence needs filling. And not every second requires a screen. Sometimes the most powerful reset isn't adding something new. It's removing the noise long enough to hear yourself think again. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more insights on focus, intentional living, mental clarity, and personal growth. And remember, the world beyond the screen is still worth seeing.